Welcome back to Centennial Kickoff Media Day 12. Here now to talk some McDaniel football, which took a look at the Green Terror from last season. We've got Coach Mike Hoyt joining us now in the hot seat, if you will. I haven't called it that all day, so don't worry, I'm just kidding around. But, Coach, I know I'm familiar with McDaniel's football campus from the years of watching the Baltimore Ravens train down there. I know you guys are getting ready to take to those fields. How's it feel to get another season get going here?
I'm excited, looking forward to it. This is what once the season ends, November, December, then all your preparation starts all over again, and this is the culmination. This is what you work so hard for in the off season, is to get ready for training camp in the upcoming season. So.
And doubly so for you, right? As you're getting ready to take the reins here for the very first time.
Yes, that's right. This is my first opportunity to be a head coach at the college level, and all those years of being an assistant and working so hard to develop myself, and you always have that ultimate goal of one day becoming a head coach, and now it's here. So I'm looking forward to it.
What, for a McDaniel fan watching there today, or just Centennial Conference fans who watch these games, what do you think will define a Mike Hoyt coach football team?
Well, the thing I've been stressing to our players, number one, is outstanding character and leadership. I think those are the two most important qualities of an outstanding football team and a great football program, championship football program. Those qualities, I think, are above all else. And then as we get into training camp, we're going to be looking to develop a team that's physical and aggressive on the field, great conditioned football team that can go hard from start to finish, play full 60 minutes at a fast pace. We want to create a football team that's fundamentally sound. We've got a great staff, great teachers on our staff that know the game of football and understand the fundamentals of the game. So, we've been working really hard to getting ready to teach the fundamentals of the game. So those are the things that we're really emphasizing here as we get started.
And how do you feel like the guys have bought into that? Can't see quite yet in camp, but just in the off season, how much do you think the guys are really grasping what you want them to from you so far?
That's been a real exciting thing for me. As I came in and we got started, all the things that I implemented, the guys took to it very well, and were real excited about it. The feedback I was getting from the players and the coaches as well, it's exactly what they were looking for. So if we can continue that excitement, enthusiasm through training camp, carry that through training camp and into the season, that'll be a big step for us.
Perfect. So you feel like the way you want to play, or your style, or the way you kind of envision this, you've got the pieces in place to kind of execute it the way you'd like?
Yeah, so far, obviously we haven't gotten the pads on yet.
Yeah.
And a lot, a lot of that will play out over the next few weeks when we get to training camp. But so far, I'm excited about where we're headed.
Excellent. As you look at some of these guys who are been a part of the Green Terror, tell me about Nick Valeri and what do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, Nick was a starter last year. Started, I think, 7, 8 games as a freshman, and he's got a lot of positive attributes. A very good leader, great work ethic, great role model for his teammates. The thing that really impressed me in the off season is how hard he worked, in the strength and conditioning program and on the field when we did get our on the field time. He's obviously got the advantage going into training camp because he's had some experience as a starter in the past. So we'll see how he develops. The things we've talked about as a staff is improving his on the field presence and his decision making. We're looking to have a quarterback that manages the game well, and that's what I'm hoping we can develop with him, as a guy that manages the game and doesn't make critical mistakes.
Managing the game, you've got a guy at the running back spot who looks like he can really do that. Asked to do a whole lot of work last season. Let's just go over the stats real quick. Joe Rollins led the Centennial Conference in just over 1,400 yards rushing. How much does that maybe make your transition a little bit easier knowing you got that guy back there?
Definitely. There's no doubt when you have a player of that caliber that's going to help you as a first-time head coach. We're going to be looking to utilize him a lot, get the ball in his hands as much as we possibly can in a lot of different ways. He's a special player. Physically, he's got speed, he's quick, he's great in the open field, tough to bring down. The things that a lot of people don't realize about him is his leadership qualities on the field, but then off the field and on our campus. He's very well respected on our campus. He's a member of our president's advisory council. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a picture of it's not just the football side of it. He's a very well-rounded young man.
When you look at these kinds of numbers, you're hoping that maybe somebody comes up in camp who can lighten his load a little bit, though, too?
Yeah, as we went through the spring, we found Carlos Thomas, another running back that we're definitely going to want to get the ball in his hands as well. He's a little different style runner than Joe, which I think is good because you can kind of have a little bit of transition there between those two. So he will definitely help lighten the load with Joe, so he's not doing it all himself.
Sticking on the offense, he also got a decent deep threat. A guy who's averaging more than 19 yards a catch, and Nick O'Melian.
Yeah, Nick, I really like Nick. I like his attitude. Obviously, he's a very talented football player, too, and can take the top off of coverage and is a deep threat. The thing that really excites me about him is his mentality. He wants the ball. He wants to make that big play. He's the type of guy when the game's on the line, he wants you to call his number and get the ball in his hands. So,
last year's 2 wins for this program. I feel like when you bring in a new coach in, it just kind of gives that energy to the guys, lets them know it's a fresh start. Forget everything you went through last year. It's time to write a new chapter, a new attitude. Do you see that rubbing off on these guys, whether it be in the weight room or just as you see them around campus right now?
No doubt.
Or in the next couple days?
Yeah. The excitement, enthusiasm has been high since I got there. With the new ideas that I've brought in and the new things that we've done and things I've asked them to do. The other things that are happening on campus too, we're in the process of building a new stadium, which will be completed here for this upcoming season. So they're seeing some other things in addition to just the things we've changed within the program. So
that can mean everything. New stadium, some fresh fans, some more people. That's new attitude bringers. Talk about how excited are you to be a part of this conference? This is such history here.
Yeah. I'm really excited to be a part of it. I was an assistant years ago at Franklin and Marshall, so I do have some familiarity with the Centennial Conference. In 2003, my last year in the conference, so it's been a little bit of time, so I have lost a little bit of contact with the conference and the style of play and things like that. But it's a very competitive conference from top to bottom. The other thing that I love about is the types of young men that this conference attracts, outstanding leadership, guys that are serious about their education. To me, it really embodies what Division III football is all about.
You touched on something there. Just because you only won 2 games last year, it's not that far from being a 6-7 game winner last year or this year. It's so competitive. It's so tight week in and week out, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it is very competitive week in and week out, and there's not a spot on the schedule where you can say, we can catch our breath this week, because every week you got to show up and be ready to play.
Is that something maybe your players might be more aware of right now, maybe than you? You've been away for a while. They're going to be ones to say, Coach, everybody is I guess everybody's came to play today.
Yeah, they definitely.
How special is a day like this for you? A day to just to shake hands with some of these guys who've been around this conference a real long time.
It's really exciting to meet. We've met already, but just to spend some time with the other coaches in the conference and start to build those relationships, it's a lot of fun.
What are we not talking about with McDaniel football as we start to wrap this up today? I'll just kind of give the floor is yours. What storylines are we not paying attention to, the things that the Terror fans out there should be aware of?
I think we've touched on a lot of the things that that are the big stories right now in our program. I'm really excited about the attitude of the players and the direction that we're headed, the enthusiasm, outstanding coaching staff, and we're just looking forward to getting started here next week and getting into training camp.
Fantastic. I actually have a question for you via Twitter. This comes from Michael Gaynor. He says, who is filling the void on defense left by seniors Bill Gertis and All-American Sam Cox?
Yeah, we're, Derek Miles is a young guy that played quite a bit last year. We're going to look to him to provide some pass rush and some anchor on that defensive line. But we're going to also try to play a lot of guys on that front four there. To provide some fresh legs on a regular basis and guys that can just play with a high motor.
definitely. Now, Michael follows up with real quickly. How about your recruiting process? How did it go being the new guy?
Yeah, I got there kind of at the end of it, so I didn't have a whole lot of involvement with the majority of the class. I was able to help on, a few, 3, 4, 5 guys at the end of the process there. Our coaching staff, and I've alluded to it already, did an outstanding job of recruiting while there was no head coach in place.
Mm-hmm.
And the 36 that we're bringing to training camp, I'm really excited about.
Excellent. Mike Hoyt, new head coach at McDaniel. Thanks very much for being with us. Centennial Kickoff 12 continues right after this.